If you could go back in time and give yourself some advice when you were recording Flowers and Liquor, what would it be?
Wow. If I give myself advice on my first record, I really don't know. I'd never been in a studio before, and I had never played with a band before. It was my first time to have a drummer in any capacity or a bass player, but I don't know what I would have done differently. I'd say cherish the time, but I really enjoyed it. I remember everything about it, and I don't know. That was pretty much a little perfect 5 days for me. I'm not sure what I would change.
What was it like not only playing Europe, but what was the response over there in Europe to your style of music?
I've had a mixed response in Europe. I guess I got, on one hand, it's a lot of fun to get to kind of, to travel. That's a big part of the deal, and going over to Europe and seeing all these places and different cultures and getting to play for them and see how they respond to your stuff is always interesting. My fan base in Europe tends to be a bit older. Most of my fans are sort of like 70 to 80-year-old men, and so I'm not sure. I haven't been in a couple years. I'm not sure if they're still alive right now, so I don't know. I've kind of was billed early on in the singer-songwriter, folky vein, and that drew a certain kind of audience. And so, but it depends. It varies from city to city. Like if I go to London, we get a really good kind of vibrant, young, energetic crowd. But outside of the major cities, it's generally guys with walkers.
If music wasn't an option for you, what profession would you go into?
If music wasn't an option for me, I don't know. I used to think about, I mean, there was a long period of time there where I wasn't sure that it was an option for me. So I thought about that. I thought that I would be a teacher. I thought maybe I'd be a high school history teacher. But I fooled around. I had a lot of different jobs. I didn't have an occupation, but I had a lot of jobs. And none of them were things that I wanted to do any longer than I had to. So I was very fortunate that I was able to pull this off.
With your new album that you're going to start working on here soon, what's going to be the biggest difference between it and your last album?
It's hard to say at this point, but I think it's going to be a little more, it's going to be a little gentler, a little less rowdy, and I don't know. I've been getting back into story songs lately, and just sort of subtle, sweet stuff sonically, and so it's hard to say until you get in there and actually make it happen. But I think it's going to be a bit more of an intimate record and a little more low key, and kind of focusing on what I started out doing, which was, a guy, a guitar, and a song. It was a lot of fun. Like on my last record, used my band, and I'd always wanted to kind of take that energy that we had on stage and on the road and capture it on a record. And I felt like we did that. But I think this next thing is going to be a little more back to my roots of a little more intimate type of affair.
What is your favorite breakfast cereal?
My favorite breakfast cereal. That's a tough call. It depends what point in my life you catch me on. Let's see, when I was growing up, I was only allowed to eat grape nuts and Cheerios, which was a bummer. And then I went through, in my 20s, a sugar cereal stage because I could. I'd earned that freedom. So yeah, Pops, I think that's what they're called, was a good one. But now I'm getting older again, and I'm back to like Chex or something with fiber. Good fiber is important.